Yes, thank you, David. Manquar Forson into the action. £4 million signing from Salzburg. He can play as a midfielder or as a winger. He's replacing Liam Gibbs, which would suggest he's going straight into that midfield three. As Norwich City look to get themselves back into this game. Oxford the better team in the first 45, and Mark Harris capitalise on that Grant Hanley error to put them in front.
Yeah, Forson coming into central midfield. Liam Gibbs had hardly been involved in that first half. I just noticed that Fastnacht and Sainz have actually switched flanks as well, so will that bear some fruit for Norwich? They need to get started. First half so poor.
There's Callum Doyle. And hunted down by Goodrum. That's what Oxford have done really well so far, hunting down Norwich when Norwich have been in possession and not letting them settle, although Forson did well there. The calm head in the chaos. A few cheers from the Norwich City fans on the far side of this stadium. 1,500 have made the journey to the Kassam Stadium for this today.
Yeah, the challenge for Oxford is to replicate the first half in the second. Not easy physically at the start of the season to do that. Can they keep up this high pressure game?
Forson heavily involved again, gives it away that time, but only a minute or so in, and he's shown a couple of good touches already as the 21-year-old. He's highly rated by Johannes Torup. Doyle. There's Fastnacht, who commits the foul on Vaux.
It's how quickly Vaux reacts here as the ball breaks off Fastnacht. Vaux pounces on it. He's there to screen the centre halves. The back four is there to do this type of job. Just get a foot on the ball, get fouled. Possession back for your team. Just the way he reacts so quickly. When that ball gets away from Fastnacht, he's across. Get his foot on the ball.
His experience could be absolutely crucial for Oxford this season, Will Vaux. Forson again, another nice touch. There's Fastnacht. Sargent. Browning strongly with the challenge.
And it's always risky for a defender to go to ground, but Kieran Brown timed that superbly.
That's Goodrum. There's Hanley. Incidentally, no Jose Cordoba for Norwich today. Another new signing that they made in the summer when they signed it from Levski Sofia. Centre-back, he is out injured, which is why he's not part of the squad today. Nice work again from Harris. Brown. There's Bennett. Now Puaheta. There's Long. He knows this place inside out, having been at Oxford since an 8-year-old. Sam Long, he was coached as a 9-year-old. He's now head coach. There's Buckingham when the Oxford head coach was making his way up the coaching ladder. Brown with a switch, looking for Goodrum. Doyle commits the foul. He's put in there a little bit of bother from that ball back to him by Forson.
Yeah, the problem was that initial pass back to him, and then he has to chase it to try and retrieve it. But again, it's because there's pressure on. You know, Rodriguez putting pressure on, as he did throughout that first half. There's no comfortable possession for any Norwich player.
Norwich now having to set up to defend this set piece, which is coming their way from Will Vaux. Huge gap between the Norwich line and Angus Gunn. Vaux to hit that area. Way though by Fastnachters Shemi Poeta. Poeta through the gap nicely, went for the return. There's Long picking up the baton. It's Long. Now Harris shifts the ball, but Bennett couldn't get onto it. That was Brannigan, I should say. Here is Bennett.
Well, Poeta's footwork was impressive, but when he actually lost the ball, the pressure he put on Shane Duffy, that forced a mistake. They got the ball back again, Oxford, on the edge of the Norwich box because of that work from the wide man.
Left Norwich and headed off to Swansea last season. Shemi Poeta on a short-term deal, which came to an end in the summer, which is why he finds himself here. There's Rodriguez. Kenny McLean intervening, Oxford corner.
But again, it's a simple forward ball. Shane Duffy, I've no idea what he's looking to do. Makes a complete mess of the headed clearance. You're talking about really experienced defenders here. What on earth are you trying to do with that? He actually heads it onto his own foot. I don't think McLean is actually fouled here. There is a bit of contact, but I think Rodriguez is right. The referee's right to give the corner. But again, defensively, Shane Duffy, that's so poor.
Vaux with the corner, over the head of Brown. Moore was trying to get to it. It's Brannigan off the woodwork. And Norwich will scramble to clear. The flag is up in any case. But it would have counted had that one gone in from Cameron Brannigan by the looks of it.
Oh, it's a wicked ball in. It's an away swinger, but it's not really leaving the 6-yard box that much, so it's hard to defend. That strike comes in, the deflection could easily have taken it into the top corner. Positive start to the second half from Oxford. Open play, set plays, causing problems.
Well, Angus Gunn was just nearly caught there by the onrushing Mark Harris as Norwich play their way up the pitch. And they've managed to get out of that Oxford press this time. Stacey on the move forward from one end of the pitch to the other, and now Norwich have a corner.
Look at Cameron Brannigan, the amount of ground he covers for the team here. Did it so often last season. At times he started in a deeper position. Today he's playing further forward, but he realised my team have got a problem. I've got to sprint back and get a block in here. Brilliant work from him.
Well, they've had difficulties at times at the other end of the pitch of Duffy and Hanley. Now they both move forward to try and come up with something in an attacking sense. Stacey. Nunez, Poeta's after him. Nunez knew what was coming. Referee's played the advantage. The flag was up for offside there as Norwich attack. Now it's Oxford doing the attacking. Rodriguez.
Well, Kieran Brown has picked up an injury here. It's just his desire to get to the ball first. He does get there. Seems to get caught by his man, but Nunez's forward ball was just hit and hope because he was under pressure again. Oxford swarming up the pitch to put pressure on a Norwich player. Cameron Brannigan influential in both halves. Many times last season he did play deeper, probably more touches in his own half, but look at this, he's pretty much everywhere. It might be just down necessarily one side of the pitch, but he's in both halves. Vitally important contributions going forward, and when needs be, he's getting back and helping out too.
Been here for 6 years now, Cameron Brannigan. By his own admission, he wasn't expecting to be here that long after signing from Liverpool in 2018. As the years have gone on, his influence has grown. There's Doyle. McLean. Nunez. Brannigan again, standing his ground. Fastnacht. There's Doyle. Oxford looking to block the channels that Norwich are trying to pass the ball through. It's what they did so well against Bolton in the League One playoff final at Wembley back in May. Forson, who has had a little bit of something since coming on.
Well, Vauxhall is saying he played the ball, he didn't. He caught the man first. Aggressive off the ball from Oxford as a team stepping onto Norwich, but he mistimes that. Trying to kid the referee by saying I touched the ball, he didn't.
Yellow card for Callum Doyle. Forson. There's McLean. Borja Sainz. Stacey on the move. Stacey picks up. Stacey in a position of threat. But the referee had already blown his whistle.
I can understand why the Norwich players aren't happy. They feel this collision is accidental. It's a good defensive position Joe Bennett has got himself into. I just wonder, does he actually catch Stacey or does he catch his own heels here? Sainz on that right-hand side has been a bit more effective. I just wonder whether Joe Bennett actually falls over his own feet. Maybe he's just got away with one there.
There's Harris. Now Nunez. There's Callum Doyle. Fastnacht. Doyle again, looking for Forson, who's got the better of Vaux. Those two in combat again. He's done well here, Forson. Stacey was on the move on the far side. He was the option. Forson, though, didn't find him.
Yeah, he just never got his head up, but again, you've got to say he hasn't trained a lot with his teammates, so he wasn't expecting to have someone out there, maybe.
There's Goodrum. Rodriguez. This time it's long on the outside. And it drops invitingly for Brannigan. Who does that? Oxford United are making up for lost time. 25 years away from this league. They are settling back into it in next to no time. And it's the man who just loves to run the show, Cameron Brannigan.
It's no more than Oxford as a team deserve, and no more than Cameron Brannigan deserves. He has been standout, and this is not an easy finish by any means. And again, Sam Long getting forward, supporting the attack. They're patient, they wait. And for Sam Long to get forward, to step out of that defensive position, and he really does whip this cross in. He fires it in, and it's a bouncing ball as well, but the concentration from Cameron Brannigan is all important. He doesn't try and take the case of this, he just passes it with pace, as if he's taking a penalty, really. We know how good he is at that. But the pace is on the ball, just redirects it, just whips his instep around it. The timing is perfect. And Oxford 2-0 up, it's dreamland for them, but they deserve it.
Well, he's the man who's trying to drive Oxford United even further forward. He's not talking about settling for life in the Championship. He's looking at Ipswich Town and saying, why can't we do what they've done? He's just scored a goal against Norwich City. Breathing space for Oxford on the opening weekend.
And also, just to mention of Will Vaux, I mentioned it in the first half, that position, that deep line position he's playing, frees up Cameron Brannigan to get forward, to get into the penalty area. Then it's up to the midfielder to finish, and he did brilliantly.
Confirmation of the yellow card, by the way, earlier went the way of Amankwa Forson. It was for that. An imaginary card, which is why the referee showed Forson the card. A real one. Double change imminent now from Norwich City. Adam Eder is about to come on, as is Jakob Sorensen. That's the reaction from Johannes Torp.
Different types of goal from Oxford as well. That longer forward ball, pressure off from a centre forward. They get their rewards for Mark Harris chasing down, and then they were patient with the second goal. They worked the opening, got a full back forward, quality finish. Two very good goals, different goals.
Christian Fasnacht and Grant Hanley will be the two to make way shortly. There's Stacey. Duffy. There's this Norwich double change. Johannes Torp is not waiting and wondering, and Grant Hanley's number is up. His error was punished in the first half, and they have looked shaky at the back so far today, Norwich. Grant Hanley's game is over. Sorensen can't play a centre-back coming on. Fasnacht, who was called into the team this morning after Jonathan Rowe withdrew from the team, he is off. And Adam Ida, who is wanted by Celtic, who've been talking to Norwich, he is coming on. And Grant Hanley walks off the pitch.
Yeah, I think at 1-0 down, Torp might have waited another 10 minutes to make the change, but going 2-0 down, you've got to do something. Got to try something different, get attacking players on there and hope that it changes the complexion of the game, because they've offered nothing going forward, Norwich, so far.
How will that change things? There's Borja Sainz. There's Forson. Looking for Ida, long with the stretch, and he gets to it. Sorensen, who has slotted into centre-back. Doyle eased out of it by Rodriguez. Rodriguez again. Real hunger and desire about this Oxford United team. Nunez. There's Ida. Sargent waiting in the middle. I think I can detect Oxford fans singing about being on the way to the Premier League. Well, Grant Hanley, a picture of disappointment, a picture of frustration. This will hurt him today, as will being taken off, and also in front of his watching national manager, Steve Clarke, in attendance here.
Yeah, Grant Hanley's found it difficult, made that mistake for the opening goal, but you know, he's not the only one. There's very few Norwich players, if any Norwich players, that have scored maybe 6 out of 10 so far. They've been that poor.
I was about to say Steve Clarke doesn't look very happy either, but
even when he wins the lottery, it's hard to tell whether he's happy or not.
He's a good man. Nunez. There's Stacey. Now Nunez. Duffy. Nunez again, dropping deep to Sorensen. There's Forson to Doyle. Vaux. Now Bennett into Puerta. This is the first time these two have met since Oxford were last in the second tier in that 98-99 season. Norwich 4-2 winners at the Manor Ground in springtime. And that basically really did put Oxford in trouble. That was Kieran Brown, wasn't it? With the feet.
That was extraordinary. You know things are going well. You've got centre-halves dancing around at the back with the ball under their feet.
Goodrum demanding the ball on this side of the pitch. The target's been found. Brannigan to Long. Harris in the middle, as is Puerta. Will Vaux. Long again.
Well, Oxford have been effective in different ways. In the first half, they dominated the ball, took the lead. In the second half, less of the ball, but still more threatening than their opponents. So again, Des Buckingham has that ability clearly with his players to play in different ways and still be effective.
Another who was drawn to coaching as a youngster, Des Buckingham, says that now is a trade, coaching, which is why you are getting quite a few coming through who haven't actually played at senior level. There's Ida. Sargent. Not quite what he was hoping for. Well, they made the big decision in the summer to change head coach. David Wagner's bags packed for him. And Johannes Torp arriving. So far not going to plan, but this was always going to be a bumpy road in terms of adapting to a new head coach, new style of football, and also with what's going on with the window open right now. We've seen how that has affected Norwich today.
Yeah, it is only the first game, and this match so far has been all about Oxford. Norwich haven't played well, they haven't been allowed to play well. Another example of it there, high up the pitch. There's just no comfortable possession anywhere on the pitch for Norwich so far.
Oxford not using the long throws of Will Vaux. Here he is with the ball at his feet. Stacey. From Nunez. Rodriguez looking to conjure something up, but he was soon surrounded. Ida. Here's Forson. Ida involved again, but Brannigan picks up for Oxford. Looking to release Tyler Goodrum. Has he remained on side here? Well, he couldn't get to it in any case, but the intention applauded by Des Buckingham down below us.
Time and again, Cameron Brannigan just seems to make the right decisions. At times it's an easy pass, backwards, sideways. At times it's play forward, play wide. He just seems to get those decisions right so consistently. He's the best out of players around him.
McLean. There's Sorensen. Stacey. Sorensen again. Just prefer playing in a central midfield role, but operating at centre-back, which he's no stranger to since coming on to replace Grant Hanley. The retreating Stacey gets to that. That's McLean. Now Vaux. Doyle. Rodriguez. Playing stepping in, he was caught, the referee has seen it and played the advantage. There's Forson. Drilled to Adamida, but he was offside.
You can see the defensive work that Des Buckingham has done with his back four. Everybody in line there, so when the forward ball is played, and they catch the striker offside. They're not stepping up as the ball is played, they're just holding a really good defensive position as a four.
Well, their transfer work is not yet done, Oxford. They're still looking for a striker to help Mark Harris in terms of carrying the burden. They were so heavily reliant on him last season. Sargent getting the better of Vaux, who was frustrated with himself, but Brown steps in for Oxford. It's been that kind of afternoon for Oxford.
Yeah, I think Matty Phillips, when he's up to speed, fully fit, he might be able to play that central striker position, but Harris will need a bit of help. It's going to be a long, long season with the amount of work he does naturally on and off the ball. Surely can't do that for the whole season. Needs a break at times.
Doyle. Ida. This is Sargent. Guaheta. Sargent survives the handball appeals. Like it was his shoulder. But back to Cumming.
The difference in defensive urgency is so noticeable. See, when Josh Sargent picks the ball up there, he's shaping to maybe shoot. Sam Long, the fullback, steps in field to deal with the centre forward, gets close, gets a touch on the ball, and the attack breaks down. I think with Norwich, they've looked so nervous at the back, experienced defenders, making mistakes. With Oxford, with Moore, Brown, the fullbacks, been excellent.
Forson. Trying to dwell as Rodriguez stepped back that time. There's McLean. Fans turning up the volume inside the Kassam Stadium. Sold a record-breaking 7,000 season tickets here this season. They had to cap it at 7,000, so there were enough tickets for those who just want to come from game to game, choose their game. That shows you the level of support there is around here. It's just under 5,000 last season. It's time the good room. Gunn will come for it, and Gunn will just about claim it. Oxford about to make a change. Idris El Mazouni will be coming on shortly. There's Ida. Nunez. There's Doyle. Norwich are looking for that one moment to try and change everything here, improving the atmosphere inside the stadium.
There's just been no signs of it. It doesn't look like Norwich are going to create anything, score a goal, make it nervy for Oxford.
So off goes Shemi Guaheta, whose work is done against his old club. And on in his place comes Idris El Mazouni, who arrived here from Ipswich, now up against Norwich. El Mazouni, a player who really impressed against Oxford whilst out on loan and playing for Orient. So Guaheta off, El Mazouni on.
That's a good performance from Guaheta. Can't be easy for him stepping into Josh Murphy's boots down that left-hand side, but he's done really what the rest of the team have done as well. Attacked effectively, and then when needed, he's got back and defended as well. He's helped out his fullback. Good performance.
Doyle. There's Sorensen. He's made the run in behind, but Moore will get to it. Harris need to make life awkward for Sorensen, and he's emerged with the ball. Harris. Brannigan.
Harris is an absolute pest, because again, Sorensen should deal with that, as Hanley should have dealt with it in the first half, but Harris gets the ball back.
And Rodriguez went sliding in, committing that challenge, and he will be yellow carded.
Oh, Oxford have been so aggressive off the ball. Just a slightly heavy touch, he goes chasing it, just the way he really goes into the challenge more than anything else. It is yellow, no more. He's not endangering an opponent there, it's not excessive use of force, it doesn't really tick the boxes for a red card, he just goes chasing a ball because his touch was so heavy.
McLean. That's Duffy. More Championship football is coming your way tomorrow. We're full of Championship football and EFL action. Sheffield Wednesday, Plymouth, 3:15. Sky Sports Football. Monday, the two who are relegated, 2 of the 3 relegated from the Premier League. Luton, Burnley, 7:30. Sky Sports Football. It's the end of the game for Marcelino Nunez, and on in his place comes Abu Kamara, who was out on loan at Portsmouth last season, had a good season, had to wait to win the Pompey fans over. He is on, and Nunez is off. So Kamara's gone left. Eder and Sargent closer together now.
And Forson playing a little bit deeper, a bit more central. Again, you can make these changes, attacking changes. You've got the personnel out there to cause a problem, but there's just been no supply line, there's been no rhythm, there's been no quality going forward from Norwich, so they can't create opportunities for decent attackers. That's what they desperately need to do, but put under so much pressure throughout the game, they find it so difficult to find any kind of rhythm.
Yeah, Jamie Cumming in the Oxford goal has had very little to do. It's called into action there. Well, there is such a good feel around this place right now. The only potential storm approaching could be a big one. Oxford can't play here after summer 2026, so Grant Ferguson with a few problems to solve as far as that is concerned. So as it stands, Oxford won't have a home in 2 years' time. That is why they are trying to build a new stadium and also looking into potential ground sharing options while that new stadium is built.
Well, Callum Doyle looking to get away with that. He just plays the ball blind towards his goalkeeper. Tiva getting squeezed, he's getting squeezed, and if not for Angus Gunn and how alive he was, Oxford could have picked that ball off as well.
Doyle with Goodrum breathing down his neck here. A problem between Kenny McLean and Callum Doyle. Things are not starting well for Norwich City, but it is just the start. Kamara wins the free kick. But again, that moment there, Andy, between McLean and Doyle, just indicative of how this has gone for Norwich from even before the game, from when we heard about Jonathan Rowe earlier today.
I suppose we can look at that. Is that a reason, an excuse for this poor performance? I don't feel that it is. There's still enough good players out there to play better than this, but it is all about Oxford, how they've approached the game, how difficult they've made it for Norwich.
There's Eder, trying to change the picture here. Couldn't link up with Sargent, but here's a chance, and then a brilliant block. Stacey was closing in on that. And then right to the death, Joe Bennett flung himself at it.
It's absolutely vital the way that Joe Bennett just adjusts himself and gets back out, even just a couple of steps out towards Stacey, towards the ball. Yes, it's brave, but it's about stepping onto the ball. If he doesn't do that, it makes it easy for Stacey just to roll that ball into the bottom corner. Brilliant defending.
And he's in a real fight for that left-back spot this season, is Joe Bennett. Made a big impact there. But again, just a warning that this isn't done yet. Norwich looking for something. And the header drops wide in the end from Sorensen, who managed to get himself free but couldn't direct it on target.
Well, his bags of pace on the ball, he's moving away from the target. Trying to redirect this under pressure, keep it inside that far post, very difficult.
Well, he's had the Thomas Frank seal of approval, has Johannes Torp. who expects Johannes Torp to do good things at Norwich City. There's Thomas Frank, his compatriot, who arrived at Brentford as an assistant, as we know, and then got the main job and took Brentford from the Championship to the Premier League. Those two have been exchanging messages and hope to meet at some point too. So MK Dons against Bradford City follows this game. Wall-to-wall football, and there is the team news right now. MK Dons, who fell quite spectacularly in the playoff semi-finals to Crawley last season.
So we're 80 minutes into the game, 2-0 up. Mark Harris running and running. He's just slightly missed time. That's a good defensive line. The back three hole for Norwich. It has gone slightly too early, but just his willingness again to run into that space to allow his teammates to maybe turn Norwich around.
More with eyes on it. Kamara gets to it. Here's Ida. Need to cause problems for Oxford. He has done as well, delivering that cross. Wilson. There's Borja Sainz. Nice bit of approach work initially from Borja Sainz. Seen off, but Forson picks up and Cumming gets down to it. And this is better from Norwich.
Finally, some threat. Getting Ida on the ball, getting crosses in, causing problems for fullbacks, centre halves. Just haven't seen this. For 81 minutes of the game, it's been so poor, so tentative really from Norwich going forward. Finally, they're getting up the pitch, getting bodies in the box, putting some threat towards that coming goal.
Well, if there have been some positive notes for Norwich today, the arrival of Amankwah Forson in the second half has been one of those. Adam Ida has looked to cause problems since coming on as well, but as we mentioned before, Celtic not far off matching Norwich City's valuation for him right now after his loan spell last season at Celtic Park. His goal which clinched a double for Celtic in the Scottish Cup final. As for Oxford, so far this has gone to plan.
It's supposed to be an interesting question after the game for Des Buckingham. If they do hold on, win this game 2-0, if you just say, which performance pleased you more? This one in the Championship, first game of the season, or that game against Bolton at Wembley, which was pretty much perfect, but stepping up a division, performing this well on and off the ball, would be a hard choice for him to make.
I wonder if Craig Short's asking that very question right now.
I'm sure he is.
You two were telepathic, weren't you, on the pitch at Everton?
That's one word for us.
Yeah, I don't want to use any more. In the meantime, Cameron Brannigan is back on his feet. So Cameron Brannigan, warmly applauded by the fans around us. Mentioned that potential new stadium, which they hope will be up in the next couple of years. Capacity will be around about 16,000. They did actually look at building a temporary fourth stand. That stand that doesn't exist behind the goal in the summer, but felt it cost too much and they'd lose a little bit of money. Hence we have a wonderful view of the car park. I remember Jamie Mackey when he was here, he did say if he ever scored at that end, he'd try and scale that wall, dance in the car park to celebrate his goal and let someone open the door to let him back in, but it didn't happen in the end.
Unsurprisingly, he didn't score. I knew there was a flaw in that plan, it was scoring. That's the problem.
Let himself down. So Greg Lee is waiting to come on for Oxford. We're hearing it will be Ruben Rodriguez who will make way. There's more. Long. Here comes that Oxford change. Ruben Rodriguez's day is done, and he's replaced by Greg Lee.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good work in that central midfield area. That three of Volks, Brannigan and Rodriguez have really bossed the game.
So on comes Lee. There is a good mix about that Oxford midfield, as we've seen today with Brannigan, Volks and Rodriguez. Long. Here's Doyle. Harris. Well, Lee did just about get there, and then he was caught by Sorensen, who will be booked.
Sees the ball, thinks I can get it. Isn't sharp enough. Well, he gets there first. It's a wild challenge.
Oxford are 3.5 minutes away from a huge opening day win back in the Championship. There's Long. This is Moore. Cumming, who will back himself with the ball at his feet, as most keepers do these days. Brannigan looking to set Tyler Goodrum away again. Goodrum, Doyle got to it.
That's a brilliant attack. Starts with Jamie Cumming and ball out to a fullback, back into midfield, switch your play. And within, what, 4 passes, you've got your wide midfielder in the opposition penalty area. Brilliant football.
The home team are looking for the perfect finish here and looking to inflict more pain on Norwich City, who are spending a 3rd successive season in the 2nd tier. And it's not starting well. Volks with the corner. And it dropped on the edge of the penalty area for El Mazouni. Norwich have survived the handball appeals. There's Goodrum. Volks. Lee with eyes on it. Gunn with hands on it.
Got to be impressed with Oxford. 2-0 up. They're still pushing for another goal. They're not sitting back and protecting this 2-goal lead. Really impressive.
El Mazouni linking up with Goodrum. They are playing with a swagger, or Oxford United, on opening day in the Championship.
They're just toying with Norwich. That is just magnificent play. The Olays are out.
Well, since they last played at this level, they've been relegated right down into non-league football. They've changed home. They've had to fight for their existence. And that's why, no matter what happened here today, the home fans were determined to enjoy themselves. And they have been entertained by their team. "17-year-old Gabe Forsyth has just been sent from the Norwich dugout to the touchline. He'll be coming on shortly. In the meantime, this is Lee. Harris in the middle. El Mazouni was always stretching.
Oh, he's actually part of the build-up, but the cross has actually got too much on it. The substitute Greg Lee just livening things up, whips this ball in, just maybe a bit too much on it, just can't quite get there, El Mazouni.
So on comes Gabe Forsyth, who's impressed in pre-season. He replaces Borja Sainz. The 17-year-old is on. And as we said at the start of the game, Johannes Torup will give young players their opportunity. That's what he was renowned for at Nordsjælland in Denmark. That's what Nordsjælland do. They produce young players and sell them on. We're into 4 additional minutes. Andy, who is your player of the match?
Well, every Oxford player has excelled, but Cameron Brannigan has been standout for me. This really sums up his contribution. He scored, but possession won, tackles, what he's willing to do for the team defensively, as well as finish like this. He's an all-round midfielder. Will Vauxhall coming to the club has freed him up to get forward, get in the box, score goals, but he has that willingness to get back and help out defensively. Brilliant all-round performance from him and Oxford as a team.
He's waited for this day. Player that was schooled at Liverpool, played a handful of games at Liverpool before heading away from Anfield. Now playing in the Championship. Mark Harris, I think, is going to be flagged offside. He is.
I think Cameron Brannigan, is it 3 Premier League appearances, 255 League One appearances?
Yeah.
And this is his first Championship game, and he's made a statement, really. Again, can Oxford, can Brannigan step up to the next level? I think they've proved they can, certainly in this game. Be a long season for them, but brilliant opening day for them.
Well, this a statement of intent. We saw it from Ipswich Town last season. Oxford United stepping up into the Championship with grand ambitions. The board were immediately summoned by the owners the day after promotion was secured, and so the owners said, congratulations, now stay up.
There's a lot of talk before the ball was even kicked about relegation, about the struggles that Oxford might have. This game for me was all about celebration. Celebrate getting to the Championship. They deserve to be here, and the team have really put on a show. Fans have enjoyed it. The players have excelled.
Gatlin O'Donkor is about to come on for Oxford if they get time. Mark Harris will be the player withdrawn. Here is the change. Mark Harris, his day is over. He will sleep well tonight.
Well, he does this every single game. He poses a goal-scoring threat, and he harries defenders, he works them. And this is a great example of what he's all about. Putting defenders under pressure, anticipating the error, forcing the error. Bit of good fortune, strike's not the cleanest, but he deserved his goal.
So O'Donkor comes on, a player who can play through the middle, also played out wide during a loan spell at Barnet last season. He is on. And he's straight into it. There's Goodwin. This their special day, such a long wait for many of them to get back to this level. Many, of course, who had never seen Oxford play at this level before.
Playing in the Championship, it's an absolute doddle, isn't it?
Opening day, Andy, you've gone too soon. As ever. Norwich get the free kick, but they cannot get out of here quickly enough. Callum Doyle. The day that they dreamt about round here is a day which is beyond their wildest dreams. Oxford United are back in the second tier, and they are back in style. It started as a bad day for Norwich City. It got a whole lot worse. Goals from Mark Harris and from Cameron Brannigan. Brannigan once again showing his class, running the show, doing the job for Oxford United. In the end, Norwich City did not have an answer. Statement made. Oxford United 2, Norwich City